it's not essential to sit on your knees, but I just thought it'd make a change to start like this, because we're going to think quite a lot about lengthening the sides of the body this morning. So just kneeling down, hands resting on your lap. I quite like kneeling as well because it more naturally supports your spinal column. So when you're sitting cross-legged, sometimes it could be an effort to keep your back upright. When you're kneeling, it feels to me like your pelvis is kind of naturally in a nice position for your spine to lift out of. So feel that length through the back of the neck. And just allow your shoulders to release down and away from the ears. Turning inwards for a couple of breaths, just setting yourself here. Giving yourself a few moments to be grateful for this lovely sunny day. Grateful for the fact that children are going back to school. But grateful in this moment that you've managed to find the time to come to your mat. Create just a bit of space in your day, a bit of space in your body, a bit of space in the breath. Just letting the breathing slow, the heart rate slow, the mind soften. Good. So if you've got your eyes closed, you might want to gently open them now. Just going to start moving through the shoulders, opening the chest. So interlace the fingers, turn the palms towards the ceiling, reach them up towards the ceiling. Inhaling there, exhaling. So feeling the sides of the body lengthen, keep the shoulders relaxed down. Another nice deep breath here. Inhaling, and then as you exhale, draw your arms down into cactus arms. So you can feel the shoulder blades drawing together behind you and the front of the chest opening. Inhale there. Exhale, draw the elbows together, the hands together. I quite like this, doing with my eyes shut until the elbows touch the hands shut. And then inhale, come back out to that cactus. Shoulder blades joining together, chest opening. Exhale, press the forearms, the elbows, the hands back together. So you feel a bit of resistance in that nice moment when they touch. Inhaling once more. Exhaling, this time bring the right elbow over the left elbow. Wrap the hands, so we're coming into Garudasana arms, eagle arms. One hand, palm of one hand pressing against the other, or if the palms won't reach, just pressing the back of the hands together. So lift the elbows a little till you can feel the stretch across the back of the shoulder blades, and feel like you're drawing the forearms and the elbows away from you a little bit to bring you into that stretch. And then from there, we're going to bow the head round the upper back so that we're leaning forward from the upper back with our arms. So curling in on yourself in that pose, but still drawing the elbows away so you can feel the stretch in the upper back. And then uncurling from there, coming up back up to upright. Lift the elbows, good. And then release off, interlace your fingers in the next slot down, and then reach them up towards the ceiling again. Long through the sides of the body, so you're sinking down through the pelvis, but lifting up through the chest, all the way to the fingertips, pressing the hands into the ceiling, and then drawing them down into cactus again. Chest opens, inhaling there. Exhaling, drawing the forearms together. Inhale, really be mindful about everything that you're doing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Chest opens, collarbones lift. Exhale. Resist as you draw the elbows and hands to meet in the middle. One more. Inhale. Exhale, left elbow over right when you come together this time. Keep the spiral going till your hands are touching each other. And then descend the shoulders down, but slightly lifting the elbows up and the forearms away. Inhale into the back of the body. Good. And then just as before, nod the head, upper back follows. So you're curling in, arms staying in the same pose. Take a breath there, fill the back of the lungs. One more breath there. And then uncurling. And stretching the arms up one more time, doesn't matter which interlace. Stretching the arms up to the ceiling. You might want to feel a bit more lift this time in the upper back, so you're not rounding the lower back. But just seeing if you can find a bit more openness across the front of the chest. Maybe lift the chin a little bit. Stretch through the throat. And then releasing the arms down. Good. So coming up onto all fours. Hands under shoulders. Knees under hips. So gently softening the ribs away from the floor, so you've got a really nice, strong, supported back. And then just bring your left hand a bit more into the center line. We're going to tuck that right hand underneath the left. Bring the ear all the way down to the floor, shoulder all the way down to the floor. Just start with a nice gentle twist. And then what you can do is you can take your left arm slightly wider on the mat and maybe a little bit forwards and maybe up on the fingertips even, and just gently using that left arm to open the chest a bit more towards the left. So just gently encouraging the twist of the chest. Slow, steady breath. And then bring that hand back in, use that hand to press you back up into all fours. And then taking the same the other side. So you can bring your right hand slightly more into center line. Slide the left underneath, all the way to the side of the face and the shoulder, come to the floor. And then again, moving the right hand slightly out to the side and forward. So you can just gently lever your chest open to the right, no forcing. Deep breath in. Exhale, releasing into the twist. One more breath here. And then using that right hand to press you up. Back into all fours. So we're going to come into puppy pose. So walking the hands forward. Keeping the hands firmly planted in the mat. Arms extended and strong. Descending the forehead so it touches the mat, and the armpits so they're coming towards the mat. So softening between the shoulder blades. You can still draw in the belly and the lower ribs, but descend the armpits towards the mat. Keep the fingers pressing down into the mat. And then deep breath there. Good. And then walk the hands back towards you, coming back up onto all fours. Excellent. So we're going to come straight into plank. You'll be pleased to hear. So press the toes into the mat, stretch the heels back, weight coming over the shoulders. So again, you're softening the ribs and the belly away from the floor. Extend the legs. Don't jam the knees back. Think more of the thighs lifting and engaging. Inhaling, exhaling. And then from there, I want you to bend the knees. So you're hovering the knees above the floor like we did the other day. Take a breath there. And then staying low, start to send the bottom back. So you're sending the bottom back, 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 staying low until you're pressing your way into a downward facing dog with very bent knees. So you scoop down low, your knees are still really bent, and you can feel that lovely opening through the shoulders and the upper back. So then reverse what you just did. So you're going to stick the bottom out, but bring the knees even lower. And then keeping the arms straight, you're going to bring the weight over the hands again, so you're coming back into plank. Draw the belly in. So it's a really nice way of coming into downward facing dog. So we'll do that one more time. So hover the knees above the mat, draw the belly in for strength. Hover the knees, just take a breath there. And then keeping low, send the bottom back as far as it'll go. Tilt the bottom up towards the sky. So you've got a nice length through the side body. Really lift the sitting bones, and your knees are still bent. Good. And then from there, you can start to straighten one knee and then the other. So coming into normal downward facing dog now. Straighten the right knee, bend the left. And then change sides. Do that in a few more times in your own time. So as you straighten one leg, you can swing the hips towards the side of the straight leg as well, if you like, and feel the length through that side of the body as well. Good, a couple more like that. And then bringing both knees to the same, both legs to the same position. My knees are still bent. Lifting the sitting bones high, descending the armpits to chest towards the mat. Good. So from there, stepping the right leg between the hands, big step forward, drop the back knee down, untuck the toes of the back leg. So we're coming into a high lunge, but this morning, instead of lunging our hips forward, we're going to keep our hips over our knee, supporting knee. So what you're looking for is length through the front of that left hip flexor and thigh. So you're tucking your tailbone under and drawing the ribs in, so you're not flaring the ribs, you're keeping them in. And then extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. The right hand can just be on the hip. So tuck the tailbone in, so that you should feel a stretch through the front of that left thigh. And then reaching up towards the ceiling, length through the side of the body. Inhaling, exhaling there. And then we're just going to reach that arm over to the right side, but just a little bit. So you're stretching over towards the right side, but not too much, just so you can feel the spaces between the ribs expand, the waist lengthen. And then coming back up to upright, hands either side of the foot. And this is where you might want your blocks this morning. The first time you might want your blocks. We're going to put the weight back in over the back knee and draw the front toes up towards you. I know we sometimes do this without blocks, but as we've got them, it's quite nice to try it with, because it's easier to draw that right hip back and keep the chest lifted and drawing forwards. So you're drawing back with the hip, drawing forward with the chest and with your hands on the block. So obviously if you've got them up, you've got logs, have them up on the end. Good. Just trying to start to get some warmth through the hamstrings. Good. And then rocking forwards again. Hands outside the feet, keep the blocks handy, tuck the back toes under, step back, downward facing dog. So bend the knees again, lift the sitting bone, descend the chest. And then maybe you can straighten the knees a little bit without losing that shape. Take a breath there. And then stepping the left foot forward, dropping the back knee down, coming to that vertical high lunge, low lunge, sorry. So hands on the hips is useful to make sure that your hips are aligned. And then you're tucking the tailbone under, drawing the front ribs in. So you've got a lovely long straight line from knee, reaching the right hand up towards the ceiling without lifting the shoulder. So keep the arm bone plugged into the socket. But you are tucking the tailbone under, creating a bit of stretch through that right hip flexor. And then from there, hands on hips, left hand on hip, just reaching across just a little bit. So you're finding more length in that right side. Inhaling, exhaling into the space, right side of the body. And coming back up to vertical. Hands either side of the foot. Grab your blocks again, or your logs, or your dog. Drawing the heel, left heel towards you, drawing that left hip back, and reaching the chest forward. And come back to the breath. So drawing the toes towards you more, you'll feel the stretch more. So activate the foot. Have you got a tendency, is the inner leg shorter than the outer leg? See if you can make your foot so it's flat, as in not the inner edge or the outer edge, pressing forward more. Mine tends to go to the outer edge. So lengthen the inner leg. Inhaling, exhaling. And then rocking the weight forward, back over that foot. Blocks to one side, hands either side of the foot, step back. Downward facing dog again. Excellent. Knees still a little bent if you need it. Inhaling, exhaling. And then walking the feet one at a time towards the hands, coming into forward fold. knees soft, chest release down onto the thighs, holding onto the elbows. Maybe rocking the weight a little bit further forward into the toes. For me, that helps me to relax the spine down. I'm not bringing it to the center of the feet. And just allow the spine to elongate. You might want to sway from side to side if that feels good. Make sure you've let go of the head completely. And just allow gravity to draw the crown of the head towards you. Here. So if you lift up, come up to a flat back, knees are still bent. So you're coming to a flat back, so your back muscles are supporting you. You might even want to try releasing the hands away from the shins a little bit, just so you can really feel the back muscles working. And then folding back forward. We're going to plant the right hand in the center between the 2 feet. You might be on your fingertips, you might be on a flat hand. And then we're going to twist towards the left. I'd like bringing my hand to my hip to start with, and then extending the arm up. When you felt like you've rotated the chest, arm can follow. So if you feel like your chest isn't rotating very much, try and keep your arm in line with your chest. It doesn't have to be up towards the ceiling. And then come back center, relax down, maybe soften the knees a bit more, release the neck. Inhale, exhale, and take the other side. Left hand to the center, right hand to the hip to start with. Push with the left hand to rotate through the chest. And then extend the arm up last. Or you can keep your hand on your hip if that feels better. Inhaling, exhaling there. So you can use the left hand to encourage you into the twist. Don't worry if you feel like your hips are swinging out to one side, that's going to happen. And then relax down. Forward fold. Good. Bending both knees and coming up into a little Utkatasana, chair pose. So press through the feet. Just bring the hands to prayer to start with. Sit back into the heels. Nice chair pose. Good. So from here, we're going to go straight into the balance that we sometimes do at the end. So bend the knees deeply, cross the right ankle onto the left knee. Good. The lower you go, the kind of easier this is, I find. Excellent. And then replace that foot back to the ground, keep both knees bent. So you're coming back into chair pose again. Do that with the left leg. So obviously you have to lift up a little bit to get the heel over, and then see if you can sink back down again. Keep the breathing going. Keep the chest as lifted as you can. And then we're going to do both sides again. So release, keep the knees bent, sink back down into chair pose. Right ankle to left knee. So hopefully this is a bit of a stretch for the buttock. So the lower you sink, the more you'll get the stretch for the buttock. I know the sides are working as well. And then both feet back down, sink down. And left heel to right knee. Just experiment with how low you can come to draw the stretch into the buttock. And rotating that foot to the floor. And then folding forward, have a rest. Forward fold. Maybe your knees are a bit straighter than they were right at the beginning, maybe not. Deep breath in and out. And then press with the feet, lift all the way to standing this time. Lift up, look up, stretch up. And then bring the hands back to prayer. Release the hands down. So you're coming into mountain pose. Excellent. Good. So coming to the front of the mat now. Feet firmly placed under the hips, hip width apart. Feel like you've got make a triangle shape with your feet. So you've got the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe and the heel. We've got a really nice strong triangle supporting you. Good. Bring the hands to prayer. Inhaling, reaching up to the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forward, arms wide, chest open, flowing all the way down to the floor. Inhale, come up with a flat back. Rest your hands very lightly on the knees so the back muscles are working. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, press with the feet, lift all the way up to standing. And hands back to prayer. Take a breath there. Inhale, stretch up again. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift up, look up, flat back, hands lightly on the legs. Exhale, step back, right leg goes back this time. Staying in a high lunge. So your right leg is straight, the buttocks are engaged. Plant the right hand on the floor and then twist to the left to the bent knee. Arm follows. So your firm foundation through your feet, pressing with both feet into the mat. Good. And then once you've got that firm foundation, you can open up through the twist. Maybe you can twist a bit further, but you're not twisting your foundation. So your feet are staying exactly as they are. Good. Hand back down, either side of the foot. Step back, downward facing dog. So you're inhaling, reaching the right leg up into three-legged dog. See if you can keep the hips facing parallel. Now I'm going to be a bit mean now, but we're going to try this. So we're going to rock forward from there into plank, but three-legged plank. If it's too much for you, just put the foot down and just do it with both feet on the floor. So if you want to try it, rock forward into three-legged plank. So your foot's just a little bit off the floor, and then press back into dog. Please put both feet on the floor if this is too much. Rock forward, plank, three-legged plank, and then press back, three-legged dog. Once more, inhale, three-legged plank. Exhale, three-legged dog, and then put the foot back down. Come back down facing dog. Well done. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. So knees to the floor, and then bend the elbows, keep the elbows tucked in. So your sitting bones stay in the air, chest brushes the floor, and then you're scooping up and under, rolling the shoulders back, lifting, using the back muscles to lift the chest, small cobra. Elbows squeezed in. Make sure your hands are pressing firmly into the mat. Feet are in contact with the mat. Good. And then press back. All fours, tuck the toes up, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. So from here, either stepping one foot forward, then the other, or jumping the feet between the hands. So if you're jumping, inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, bring the feet between the hands. Almost went too far then. Folding forward when you get there. Inhale, press with the feet, lift up, look up, stretch up. And hands to prayer. Good. Inhale, other side. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, flat back. Light hands. Exhale, left leg steps back, big step back. High lunge. So both feet to your foundation. Engage the buttocks, the left buttocks as well as the right thigh. And then keeping that firm foundation, press the left hand into the floor to help you rotate towards the right. So rotate from the waist, then the chest, then the arm. Press both feet firmly into the mat, and you can then release, open up into the twist. Keep breathing. Hands either side of the feet again. And stepping back into downward facing dog. So same as we did on the other side, so your option is to keep both feet on the floor, or you can do the first couple with one foot off the floor and then change. So sweeping the left foot up and back, three-legged dog. Hips like headlights shining towards your mat. Inhale here. Exhale, three-legged plank. Inhale, press back. Exhale, walk forward, three-legged plank. Keep your hands really pressing into the floor. Exhale. Inhale, plank one more time. Exhale, press back. Both feet down. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, next time you inhale to plank. knees to the floor, chest, chin, tuck the elbows in. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog again. Inhale, lift up the right leg again, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. And then what we're going to do is we're going to step the back foot in about a foot and turn the foot so it's 45 degrees, the back heel's on the floor, and you need to catch hold of your blocks or your logs. Make sure they're still somewhere handy. So your blocks are either side of your front foot. So in this pose, your hips are facing towards the front, but in order to do that, you need to draw your right hip back and let your left hip roll in. But don't worry if you still feel like that's slightly 45 degrees to the left, that's fine. And with your blocks, hopefully you'll find this easier, not to round too much through the back, but to send the sitting bones back, the chest forward, keep the shoulders rolling back as well, and feel like you're extending forwards from the crown of the head. Inhaling, exhaling here. So if it's too easy, you can turn your blocks, or whatever you've got, maybe not with water bottles, and come down a bit lower. Excellent. Good. So taking the blocks away, bend the front knee again. You might have to shuffle the back foot back to get there comfortably. Hands either side of the foot. Step back, downward facing dog. So we'll take that straight away on the other side. So lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. Squeeze the buttocks to lift the leg. And then exhale, left foot between the hands. Just as on the other side, you're going to step your back foot in, a foot, half a foot. Toes out to 45 degrees. So you just need to find a place where this is a good stretch, but not an impossible stretch. So you're going to roll that left hip back again, let the right hip roll in so the pelvis is relatively aligned. Find the position on the blocks that you need. And you're sending the hip bones backwards and drawing the crown of the head and the chest forwards to create that crease at the top of the leg, hopefully. Inhaling, exhaling. So you're still pressing the feet into the floor, so there's still strength in the pose, but also release. Good. Blocks away, hands either side of the foot again. Make your way back into downward facing dog. Inhale your next inhalation to plank, and either leave chest chin again, or if you want to, come down in chaturanga this time. So see how slowly you can come down. Keep the belly lifted away from the floor, bend the elbows, maybe stop when your elbows get in line with your body, and then come down even more slowly. Good. This time we're going to come into Locust pose. So you can rest your forehead down onto the mat, interlace the fingers behind you. We'll just do the front half of Locust first. So your feet are still staying in contact with the mat, the thighs are still staying in contact with the mat, the hands are reaching away down towards the feet, and the chest is lifting. The shoulder blades are coming together behind you. So you might not lift up very far, just feel that sense of the shoulders rolling back, and then peeling yourself all the way back down to the floor. Turn the head to one side, release the arms, maybe sway the hips from side to side. So if that was too much for you with the arms interlaced, you can just reach the hands back rather than interlacing them. So on the next round, you can either repeat that or you can try full Locust. So you're stretching the arms behind you, either interlaced or just palms of the hands up. And then you're going to lengthen the legs, lengthen, 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 lengthen until they lift off the floor just a little bit. See if you can breathe there, not easy. One more breath. Legs really strong. And then releasing down, turn the head on the other side. Hopefully let go of the body onto the mat, sway the hips from side to side if that feels good. And then hands back underneath the shoulders. pressing all the way back into child's pose. So you can have your knees wide, toes together, heels coming, sorry, bottom coming back onto the heels, forehead connecting with the mat. Nice deep breath in and out. Good. And then coming back up on all fours, tucking the toes under, lifting back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Inhale, lift the leg a bit higher without opening the hip. Exhale, step the foot through. Turn the left heel down across the mat, coming up into warrior. So just before we come back into warrior, just stretch the right leg so it comes towards straight. Don't jam the knee back. Press the foot into the floor. Just have a feel where your hips are. Are they tilting or are they straight? See if you can get them so that they're relatively straight, and then bend back down again. So you might feel that you need to press the outer foot of the back leg more to keep them like that. Extend the arms out, looking out over the front arm, and the shoulders sink down. Belly lifted. Good. So resting the back hand on the hip, lifting the front arm up, coming into reverse warrior. And then we're going to fold the hand so it's gently supporting the outer back left skull. So it's like you're cradling the back of your head, but you'll feel that's a bit more of a stretch in the side of the body. Good. Coming up from there. Straightening the knee, and then heel toeing the back foot in so you're in a more comfortable position for triangle. So we're going to take triangle here. Sarah, be careful with your triangle. So extending towards the right foot, and allow, you can use, sorry, I should have said, you can use your block if you want to. I don't know, I know we don't normally, but it might feel nice to try it in triangle. So you're coming down onto your block, but even if you're using a block, try not to dump all the weight into the block. Rotating the chest towards the front of the room. And we're going to try and find length, even length in both sides of the body. So there's going to be a tendency for your right side to collapse. So see if you can find length through the right side of the body. So the right side of the body and the left side of the body are even. And you really need to press through your feet in triangle. So you don't want to dump the weight into your knees. So if you feel like that's happening, you can put a micro bend into your knees, but the key is to press the feet into the floor. Good. Coming back up. Excellent. And then we're going to come into Revolve Triangle now. So you need to put your block on the other edge of your foot, on the little toe side. The higher up it is, the more straightforward this is going to be for you. So for Reverse Triangle, you need to turn your back foot in a bit more and turn your hips more towards the front. So it's a bit like what we were doing in the hamstring stretch. If you feel like you're going to fall over, maybe move your right foot a bit more to the right so that your feet aren't quite so tram-lined, parallel. Arms out to the side, press the floor away with the feet, and then you're going to swing the left arm towards the front of you, rest the right arm on your hip, and you're going to come down and hopefully land on your block. So you're twisting towards the front leg. So once you get there, see if you can rotate the chest towards the right. So you might feel that you have to draw your right hip back to do that. Just see where you get to. If you're still pointing down towards the floor, that's still fine. If you feel that you have got some rotation through the chest, you could try lifting the top arm up once you've got there. But again, you don't have to. If you've got a wobbly log, this is going to be trickier than if you've got a block, but persevere. Inhale once here, then come carefully back down, up. Well done. And rotating towards the front of the mat again, hands either side of the foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale there. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or a nice slow chaturanga, maybe pausing when your elbows are in line with your body. And then lifting up, just coming into cobra again this time. Rolling the shoulders back and then tucking the toes under, lifting back up, down facing dog. Stepping the feet forward or inhaling, exhaling, hopping the feet between the hands, folding forward. Inhale, stretch up, look up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Relax the hands down, just standing in mountain pose for a moment. Letting the breath settle, the heart rate settle. And then we'll take all that on the other side. So coming to the front of your mat again. Find a connection with the floor with your feet. Bring the hands to prayer. Inhale, stretching up, looking up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, light hands. Exhale. Oh, I've forgotten what side we're on. That side first. So it's going to have to be right leg back, I think. I think that's right. Right leg back. Round the right heel. Coming up into warrior on the other side. Is that the other side? I think it is. Good. So as just as we did before, just straighten the legs. It's not the right side. Okay. So what side do we do? We were on that side, weren't we? I think it is the other side. You're going to have to work this out for yourself, because I've totally confused myself. I think it's right leg back.
It is for me.
Okay, good. Right leg back.
And me.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's funny. But dyslexic for a moment. So straighten the knees gently by pressing through the feet. Just equalize the hips. Just feel how that's, for me in that back leg, in my back leg, that's quite a strict stretch through the hip flexor. And see if you can keep the hips like that. You come down again. So pressing with the outside edge of the outer heel, outer side of the foot. So you're bending the knee now, coming back down into warrior. So dropping right hand to right hip, lifting right arm up into reverse warrior, and then just very gently cradling outside of the head. Makes it a bit longer stretch for the side of the body. And then coming back up to warrior. Straightening the front knee out and heel toeing the back foot in. So you come to triangle foundation. So if you did on the other side, bring your block to the inner side of your foot. Reaching out and forward with the left hand till it comes down to rest gently on your block. So not dumping the weight. And then think about this equal distance between the hips and the ribs on both sides of the body. Press the feet strongly into the mat. This pose is all about the foundation. So you'll feel the more you press your feet into the mat, the more maybe you can open up into the twist as well. Inhaling, exhaling, lengthening through the left side of the body so it's even with the right. Very nice. And then coming back up. And then adjusting yourself for reverse triangle. So I move my left foot a bit out to the left. Turn my back toes in, and with my hands on my hips, I can feel that my hips are then rotating towards the front of the room, towards my front foot. So just find a foundation that feels comfortable for you. So your back knee shouldn't feel like it's at all twisted. The foot's following the knee, and then bring your block to the outside edge of the foot. That's where you're going to land. I'll do mine on the tallest version. So arms wide, so you're reaching your right arm across the body this time. Left hand comes up, down onto the hip. Reach forward with that left arm and then rest it on the outside of the left foot. And then you'll have to draw your left hip back and let your right hip come forward so that you can twist towards the left. Keep pressing down with both feet, rotating. You can either just keep your hand on the hip if you want to reach it up towards the ceiling. So you're pressing with the supporting hand to encourage you into the twist, but also to lift out. Excellent. Inhaling, exhaling. And then carefully rotating your way back down again. Let go of the block. Bring both hands either side of the foot. Make your way into downward facing dog. However you can get there safely. Come into downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale there. Inhale, come to plank. Last time, exhale, slow chaturanga down or knees pressed in if you're feeling tired. Inhale, cobra. And then all the way back to child's pose this time. Bottom on heels. Forehead on the floor, just resting there for a few moments. Excellent. So if you just come up slowly now to kneeling, I'll just show you what we're going to do next. With those, we've done quite a lot of shoulders already with the going to plank to downward facing dog. So this is the last little bit we're going to do because we haven't done it for a while, which is dolphin pose, which I think you all actually quite enjoy. So if you remember, we're going to find our width by holding onto our elbows, place the elbows on the floor, send the hands forward. So you've got two options here really. You can either interlace your fingers if you find that easier, or you can have your hands flat on the floor. But we're trying to keep our forearms parallel, kind of shoulder width apart. And if you remember, we're going to tuck the toes under and lift up into downward facing dog. So rather than rocking the weight forward, we're going to try and lift the sitting bones and draw the shoulder blades together down the back, shoulders away from the ears, coming into downward facing dog without your hands. So I had a friend who had really bad wrists, so she always had to do downward facing dog like this. So really pressing with the forearms is the secret here. Keep the sitting bones lifted away, strength across the top of the shoulders. If you need to come down, come down. Otherwise, one more breath here. And then knees back to the floor. Come back up, kneeling. Good. So this is the best pose that you can do to prepare you for headstands and shoulder stands, because it's that strength across the top of the shoulders, the drawing together the shoulder blades behind you, that's really going to give you the foundational strength that you need. So we're going to do that one more time. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous, just watch for a second. If you're feeling more adventurous, you can see what happens when you walk your feet in closer over your towards your body. So you feel the weight coming into your forearms. You can try, if you want to, from there, lifting one leg up, lifting the other leg up, totally up to you what you do. And then once you've had enough, come back down to kneeling. So either stay as you were or try one of the other variations. But make sure you've got that nice strong foundation first, where you're pressing away with the forearms. You're almost drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And then maybe you can experiment with drawing the feet in closer, or lifting one up and then the other. Hard work. And then when you're ready, coming back all the way into child's pose with your arms behind you. So you give your shoulders a rest now, forehead on the floor, arms alongside the shins. Inhaling, exhaling. And then uncurling, coming back to kneeling. And we're going to finish with some floor stretches. So come down onto your bottom. We're going to stretch the right leg in front of us. We've got some options here if you want to try something different. So right leg in front. Option one is just to have the left leg as normal, as a wing with the foot touching the inner thigh. Or if you find half lotus possible, you can draw that leg across so that the ankle is on the top of the thigh. But this is fine too. So whichever way you are, If you're really flexible, you might want to reach your left arm round behind you and catch hold of that foot that's on your lap. But either way, wherever your leg is, we're starting to draw the chest forward over the outstretched leg, hands on the shins, the thighs, wherever they reach to, maybe catching hold of the foot, and then softening down over the leg, so you don't need to keep a flat back. So we're turning inward now, pausing in. Nice, long, slow breath. One more breath here. And then uncurling back up to sitting. So if you had your leg on the inside of your thigh, if everyone now crosses that foot onto the top of the thigh, and we're just going to tuck the other leg up so the foot's flat on the floor. So you're in the stretch that we do on the floor sometimes. So you've got your hands resting behind you, left ankle on right knee. So this is a stretch in the buttock, hopefully, of the left leg. So if that's easy, the easier it is, the more you have to sort of shuffle closer towards the foot. So just bring it to where you've got a stretch in your left buttock. Inhale, exhale. Good. And then come out of it, ease out of it a little bit. Then you're going to bring that right leg so it's down on the floor and the left leg's coming over the top of it. It's making your brains work now. So your left leg's over the top, flat on the floor. And you're going to twist towards that leg. So the right arm comes round, hugs the left. Left arm's behind you, lifting up with the spine. That's it. So your opposite arm to leg. So just as we usually do, use that back hand to make the spinal column nice and tall, and then you're rotating from the base through the middle to the top. Turn the head last, and then turn the eyes as well today. So you're looking out the corner of the eyes. You should be able to see your nose. And then come back to center. Excellent. We'll do the same on the other side. So stretching left leg out now. Bring your right leg to the inner thigh. Or if you did on the other side, you can stack it. But it needs to be towards the top of that leg so you can fold forward. You want to reach round to catch hold of the foot with the right hand. Or none of that stuff. And then just folding forward, lengthening the hamstring. So just have a consideration of your foot again. Is the inner leg longer than the outer leg? See if you can get that foot as if it was standing on the floor. Even between those 3 points of the foot like we were doing when we were standing. And then releasing the weight of the body towards the thigh, however far your body will let you go. Nice deep breath. Use the exhale to soften. One more deep breath. And then uncurling. So if everyone could bring their right ankle onto just above their left knee, send that left knee in. So you've got a nice stretch through the right buttock now. So you can just lean the weight behind you, fingers facing forward. And the closer you bring your bottom to your heel, the more stretch you get. So you're keeping your right knee pointing out towards the side. Try not to slump into your shoulders. Keep the chest lifted. Breathing there. And then crossing the left leg under you so the right foot will come down flat on the floor. Make sure both sitting bones are grounded into the mat. Lifting tall out of the spine before you twist towards the right now. Left elbow hooking right knee. Right hand just gently supporting you. Spiraling twist. from the base of the spine, between the shoulders, turn the head last, but don't yank the head's just following the rest of the spine, and then look out the corner of the right eye. So you can see your left nose. Inhale, grow tall, exhale into the twist. And then come back to center. And we're going to bring the feet into Baddha Konasana now. So soles of the feet facing each other. So again, just rest the weight back. Actually, it's quite more comfortable with my fingers back, pointing back for some reason on this one. So whichever way it feels comfortable, lift the chest. And I find if you support yourself behind, it's sometimes easier to release through the hips then. So you're not having to concentrate on sitting up, so you can just relax the hips. You might find that one leg's much higher up than the other. But just see if you can let go of the ligaments and connective tissue that's holding onto the hips. Release them for a moment. And then from there, sitting up with your own strength, drawing the arms forward. See if you can still release those hips down. And then folding forward over the feet, like we did last week. Just again, head hanging. You might want to sway your body from side to side just to ease it down over the feet. Nice deep breaths in and out. Good. One more breath. And then uncurling back to sitting. And we're going to make our way down to the mat. We're just going to do half bridge, and then we'll come into final relaxation. Just roll your way back down onto the mat. Bring the feet hip distance apart, close to your bottom. And then pressing through the feet, you're going to tilt the pelvis so you lift the tailbone up first, then the middle of the back. Rolling the weight up onto the upper shoulders and upper arms. And if you've got the space to do so, you can even interlace the fingers. So you can feel that the upper arms and shoulders are taking the weight. Thighs, the feet are pressing the floor away. So you can either stay there, or you can draw the right knee in, press the right foot up towards the ceiling, keep both hips lifted. And then bring that leg back down again, where it's there too long. Both feet on the floor, lift the hips. And then extending the left leg up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing with the outer arms and shoulders, lifting the hips. Foot back down to the floor. Lift the hips once more. Feels easy with 2 feet now. And then release the hands and really take your time coming down. So you're really laying the spine down all the way from the upper vertebrae through the middle of the back. See if you can visualize each individual vertebrae returning to the floor until your tailbone comes down onto the mat. So everybody today, just put your feet a bit wider now so that mat width apart. Hammer your knees together so they're resting together. Just stay like that for a moment before we stretch the legs out. So relaxing the length of the spine. Softening the belly. Bring the arms away from the body. Feeling the shoulders roll down towards the floor. So if that's really comfortable, then do stay there for relaxation for a couple more minutes, or if you want to extend the legs out now, bring them to the corners of the mat. Releasing the weight of the body to the floor. Feeling the pelvis heavy, shoulders heavy. Relax the skin on the face and the scalp. Soften the jaw, soften the eyes. If thoughts come into your head, then just acknowledge them and then let them move on. So resting back still in the body, but starting to become aware of the sounds around you. You're feeling the awareness spread from where it's resting in your body to the sounds near and then further away. Becoming aware of the sensation of the air on your skin. Enjoying feeling maybe a bit more at one with your body. A bit more whole, a bit more together. And then taking a deeper breath, stretching the body out, just as we did at the beginning of the class. Length through the sides of the body, and then hugging the knees in. Maybe rocking a little bit before you turn onto your right side. Take a moment there before you come back up to sitting. So come back to a comfortable seated position. We bring the hands to the heart. So may we go forward in this day with a feeling of gratitude and an awareness of all the good things in our lives. Thank you very much for practicing. You guys are certainly good things in my life. Namaste.